Are you frustrated that you're not getting enough leads to convert into enrollments into your school or academy? And you're probably getting people that aren't serious participating in the trials that you offer. And maybe it's even to the point where you're getting people who sign up for a trial, but then they ghost you, feeling stuck, like you're chasing enrollments every single month and still not getting the minimum number of enrollments that you need to grow your school or academy. So if you own an extracurricular school or academy, you do something like martial arts or music or dance, and you're frustrated booking in trials that don't actually turn into more enrollments, this video is going to show you exactly why those leads aren't enrolling and what you can do to permanently move to the new way of enrolling students. My name is Jennifer Waters, and I help school owners build wildly profitable schools that run on autopilot. What I'm going to teach you today is the exact system that I use in my own seven-figure location and my satellite schools. And I also teach to my clients inside of my coaching program for school and academy owners. It's called Seven Figure Dojo. A lot of times people are using this old way to enroll new students versus the new way. And when we're looking at this old way of enrolling students, typically what you're looking at is somebody who's offering some sort of trial. And usually this trial is a paid trial. So you might be doing something like 2 weeks for $29. The problem is that you're going to be getting people in who don't really value what you actually do because of this price point. So that is an issue. Now, sometimes the other old way to do this is pay per class. This is also a method of a trial. Like, for example, you're going to pay $19 for the first class. You can buy some sort of punch card, and that punch card, you'll get a discount for bulk, right? And then what we end up doing after that is we try to convert them into actual enrollments. But what's really happening is we're getting people into this temporary thinking mode. And what I mean by this is that when you get people that are doing these trials, they're not thinking about staying with you long term. They're thinking about, I'm going to do this thing for 2 weeks. I'll see how it goes, but I'm not really certain. And I'm okay with spending $29. So not only are we getting them to think temporarily about commitment level, I don't know if I'm going to stay past 2 weeks. We're also getting them to go into thinking about price. So now we've got two objections. And usually the ways that people overcome this is they have to resort to discounting their program. You're going to get started, and if you do it before the trial ends, then I'll give you an extra $100 off. They have to discount what their program's actually worth to get the person started, or create fake urgency. So they say something like, hey, you have to get started and make your decision by the end of your first trial class or else. So this is the old way of doing things. And I have a lot of people, they did this definitely in the 80s and the 90s with the gym culture in the 2000s. It's held on like a death grip for schools and academies. And frankly, I think it's because they don't know there's another way. So hopefully with this video, I'm going to be able to share with you the way that is actually working inside my own schools and the schools that work with me. So the new way to do this is, instead of a trial, you offer an evaluation. When you offer an evaluation, it automatically puts you in the driver's seat. So you're no longer having to worry about this person's coming in and trying me out. Instead, you are evaluating them. Think about the power in that statement. When I say I'm going to evaluate whether or not you're ready for my program, there is something telling this person that I might not get it. I'm going to get evaluated. This is important because when we're looking at the dynamics that causes someone to actually say yes and to get enrolled into a program, we need to make sure that they understand that this isn't for everybody. We've got to repel the people that are not going to be good fits for our school or academy. And we've got to attract the ones that are our perfect, ideal student. So when it comes down to this, it allows us to be able to be in that special position where we are getting a chance to evaluate them to determine if they are actually indeed a good fit for our program. So what it all boils down to is that when we use this language of evaluation, now this person is coming in and they're going, I might not get into this place. So number one, there's going to create some urgency for this person. Number two is it allows us to do something that is critical to being able to showcase the value and be able to charge what we're actually worth. We are going to be able to diagnose what's actually going on. There's a reason why they need your program. There's a reason why they need to come to your facility. Now, for some extracurricular programs are centered around things that aren't really a need. So, for example, fun. Oh, our classes are extremely fun. The problem with selling fun is that for kids or for adults, you can literally invent fun. You can invent something that is going to be way more fun than having to pay $100, $200, $500, $1,000 for. I can have my child go outside and just play outside for free, have fun. Kids build sandcastles at the beach for fun. They're playing in dirt. It may be something that sells, just like you might go to a trampoline jump park. That's fun, but I don't think I'm going to pay $500 for my child to experience the trampoline jump park for a 30-minute session. It's fun, but it's not that level of fun. I'm not willing to pay for that level of fun. So for a lot of extracurricular schools, this is a drawback as they try to sell fun. And then we try to sell other things. Let's say if you're in the weight loss niche, maybe you're trying to sell weight loss. You're going to lose weight or you're going to get in shape, fitness. Both of these things are now not gate kept. If I want to know how to lose weight, there's something free. It's called YouTube. I can watch a video on YouTube and I can understand everything I need to know about losing weight. Fitness, same exact thing. I can go to YouTube and look up how to get stronger for free. So this isn't helpful anymore. Tutorial-based things. Let's say I grew up doing martial arts. I was a professional fighter. Let's say that I'm teaching the skill, right? I'm teaching you how to kickbox. I'm teaching you how to do MMA or jiu-jitsu or karate or whatever it is. You can go and learn this skill for free. I'm just using YouTube. So me trying to sell this is not going to be something I'm going to be able to charge a premium price for unless I am the superstar. I have one of my friends is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. At one point, he fought for the UFC welterweight title. And people come to Stephen and they want to train in his school or train with him. He can charge a premium price because of who he is and his involvement with the UFC. If you're not a star, you're not going to be able to charge for that as easily. We can diagnose why they need our program. A lot of times, your program helps with additional things. For example, with martial arts, my program helps kids focus. We have kids that have ADHD, that have ADD, and they have extreme challenges focusing. It's been proven that martial arts can actually help those kids learn how to regulate their body and their mind to improve their focus for school or at home. So I can diagnose, hey, this kid obviously needs help with focus. Another thing, I'm just going to pull from the martial arts world, confidence. Kids or adults have low self-esteem. Internet has amplified this problem. People are more in silos than they've ever been before. And so we help students improve their confidence level. We help them gain that self-esteem that they lost. And so when we're looking at a student who's coming in, maybe she's holding on to mom or she's hiding behind mom's leg and she won't have a conversation, then we know that there's an issue with confidence. Once we know what's going on here, we can do an evaluation, or you could also use this word, assessment. So we can do an assessment, and that assessment will allow us to go to the parent and say, yes, your child has a problem with this, and your child has a problem with this, and here is the main thing that they need, solution. Your program should be the solution that they are looking for. And if it's not a solution, they can go somewhere else. But you haven't wasted time on a trial that's going to extend for 2 weeks. You don't have to discount your program, and you don't need to come up with fake urgency because now you have evaluated them with a checklist. These are the areas that your child scored really well in. These are the areas that your child did not score well in. And this is my diagnosis of what is deep down happening. From layer 1 to the bottom layer, if we don't fix these things in the next 4 to 6 months, then this is going to happen. If you were to go to a doctor and say, I've got some bad knee problems, the doctor's not going to go, let's just go ahead and try out physical therapy for the next 4 weeks without doing a diagnosis. First thing they're going to do is they're going to evaluate you. They're going to have you go through some exercises, some activities. They're going to ask you where it hurts, when it hurts, if there's any activity that you did lately, did you fall? They're doing all these things in the evaluation of you. Once they've done that evaluation, they're going to sit down. They're going to diagnose you. They're going to tell you what is actually happening. And once they've done that, they're going to give you the prescription, or in this case, the solution. Now, it's up to you to take that prescription or that solution, but because you put value into their evaluation and their diagnosis, you're more likely to do that. You're more likely to trust them. You're more likely to say, yep, they know what they're doing, and I'm not so sure. So this allows us to get into that position of premium authority. And it also really fixes that whole problem that I was talking about earlier about this temporary thinking around the commitment or price. When I come down here and I say, hey, the solution is not going to be overnight. You're not going to lose weight, improve focus, confidence, gain this skill set. We've had schools that work with us that are like tennis schools or soccer schools. The child is not going to become the next Messi overnight. It's just not going to happen. So we get this out of their head. Then we give them a time frame. How long is it going to actually take for this improvement? When are we going to actually start seeing results? What does that timeline look like? The next thing that we can also talk about is our focus areas. In my program, we call it the core 3. So what are the 3 things that we're going to focus on during this time frame? And then how long is it going to take to get results? And then after we've done both, then we can talk about our program. I have seen that free beats paid every single time. When I do a paid trial, it squeezes people in at the top, it puts them in the wrong mindset, and it's very hard to transition them out of that mindset into a different type of mindset. And that, for that reason alone, is why I always offer a free evaluation or a free introductory lesson in order to get them in. Now, this is the same process that I used inside my school to hit 74 students in 30 days. 3 or more times. I've done it repetitively to enroll 74 students at a time into my schools. After I did this, I had one of my own students come in and say, you know what? I'm going to beat you, Jennifer. And in my school, I'm going to enroll 76 in 30 days. And sure enough, Tiago did. He enrolled 76 students in 30 days. A couple of weeks afterwards, it was 45 days in. And he said, I've got 90 new students in 45 days. All of it was done this way, not by trials, not by gimmicks, by actually offering an evaluation to determine, is that student a good fit for me in my school, and giving them that recommendation. So if you want more help with this, design a system like this where I could constantly get in enrollments, go to Instagram, look up the Jennifer Waters, and DM me the word students. If you're watching this in one of my training courses, there's going to be a button below where you can book in your free assessment so we can determine if you're going to be a great fit for us, if we can even help you, and then we'll go through and give you a proper diagnosis of what's actually happening in your business so you can make the determination, we can make the determination on what the next steps are going to be for you to get the results that you ultimately desire.